Let's make a pot holder with the Potholder loom. This is an 18 peg loom and we're going to make the square spiral pot holder design. This square spiral pot holder makes a unique pattern with a spiral on the front and then nestled arrows pointing towards each other on the back. This is one of my favorite pot holder designs. This reversible pot holder uses 2 colors and is an easy plus beginner project. You do have to pay a bit of attention on this one compared to the other ones we've done in the last few weeks. You can find a detailed chart on this design at Piglet's Potholder Patterns. This is a square spiral potholder 18 peg shared with permission under Creative Commons. Let's begin our tutorial and make the square spiral potholder. Welcome to GoodKnit Kisses. We're all about helping you stitch your love and love your stitches. This pattern has written instructions and links to the right and left-handed video tutorials for your convenience, as well as a link to the chart that we referred to for this pattern. So visit our link down in the video description below for a link to our blog. If you'd like to purchase an ad-free version, you can get that on our Ravelry and Etsy stores, but we will not be publishing the Creative Commons chart. There will be a link in that PDF though. We will have fully written instructions for each pattern that we make in this series. For materials, you're going to need your weaving loom for pot holders. This is a 3/8 inch spacing and it has a more narrow spacing than others. As long as you have 18 pegs across, you can work this pattern. It will just have a slightly different size than the one I'm showing here today. This one has 72 pegs all around, so 18 pegs on each end, multiplied times 4 is 72. This loom in particular is a CinDwood loom, and I'm working with their 3/8 inch small 7-inch pot holder loom. It makes roughly a 5 by 5 inch square. It comes with your weaving tool, and you're also going to need a crochet hook for binding off around your pot holder. You're also going to need 36 cotton loops for this 7-inch loom. So it's loops that work with whatever loom you're using. We're working with color A, which is 18 loops of orange, and color B, which is 18 loops of purple. I recommend using contrasting colors to really make your design pop out. All right, let's begin. All right, let's begin with our warp, which is the vertical part of our loops. And this setup is beginning over here where our black peg is. We're going to start with color A, which is orange, and alternate with color B, which is purple. So we're going to go every other one with those colors alternating and end with color B. So that will be your warp. And then the weave will also alternate. We're actually going to start with color B, which is purple first, and then work with A and so on all the way down. Now, while you start putting this on, of course, pause your video if you need to catch up. I'm going to pull out my chart so you can see it. Now, the chart is just for reference so you can see something visual, but we will have audio here in the video where I'm telling you my written instructions, and all of the written instructions step by step for each row are found on our blog, so be sure and visit that. This pattern here, the visual representation for the right-handed looks like this, but if you make it left-handed, it's going to look flipped to you. Now, I'm not flipping this on camera, but if you work on my left-handed video or you want to do the reverse of this image, go click down below and you'll see that video and it'll help you do it. And then you won't be starting on this left side over here, you'll be over on the right side, which on the left-handed or reverse video, this black peg will be over here. Once I don't have this on screen, it'll magically flip over for you. All right, so I just want to go over this. The very first row is very easy. We're just going over, under, all the way across. And then when we get down to the next row and all the other rows, you'll have areas where you might be going over to or under to at different times. So I'll be calling that out to you and how those repeats work. So I hope that helps you. Let's go ahead and start our weave here. Pause your video if you need to catch up. All right, we've got row 1 and we're going to start with color B. We're going to weave over 1, under 1, and repeat to the end of the row. So I'm starting over here and we're going to go over this first one and under. So you're just going to be going under all of the purple strands this first row. So that's going to be easy. Under color B. So I just use my fingers on this until I get much further down, and then I tend to use a crochet hook, or you can use the weaving tool. All right, so color A is going to be our second row. We're going to weave over 2. Okay, so over these first 2 here, place that on, and then the instructions are weave under 1 and over 1 7 times. So we're going to go under, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So that's under 1, over 1, 7 times. And remember that the 7th part is going to include going over this last one. So then my next set of instructions are weave under 2. So we're going to pick up these last 2 and go over under them. All right. And now we're going to color B, or row B, row 3, color B. We're going to weave under 1 and over 2. So under 1 and then over 2. And I just mark my place with my finger when I look back at my instructions. And we're going to go under 1, over 1 6 times. So under, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's under 1, over 1 6 times. Don't forget it ends with an over 1. I'm going to mark my place with my finger, look at my instructions, and we're going to weave under 2 and over 1. So under these 2 and over 1. And you can see these solid looking stripes coming out. Now we're on row 4, and we're going to alternate with color A, and we're going to weave over 1, under 1, over 2. So over 1, under 1, over 2, mark my place, and weave under 1, over 1 5 times. So under 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It ends going over that last one here. And look at my instructions. Weave under 2, over 1, under 1. So under 2, over 1, under 1. There you go. And next color B is row 5, and we're going to weave under 1, over 1, under 1, over 2. So under 1, over 1, under 1, over 2, and then mark my place. Under 1, over 1 4 times. Under that B, 1, 2, 3, 4 times. I'm going to go over that last one, so mark my place. Weave under 2, over 1, under 1, over 1. So under 2, and then, oops, over 1, under 1, over 1. Okay. Row 6, color A, weave over 1, under 1 twice. So over 1, under 1, over, under, so over 1, under 1, over 1, under 1, and then mark that, and then weave over 2, so 1, 2, and then mark that with my finger, and then we're weave under 1, over 1 3 times. So under that same color, 1, 2, 3, and then it ends with an over, so I'm going to mark it with my finger, and then weave under 2, so 1, 2, and then we're going to weave over 1, under 1 twice. Over 1, under 1, over one, under one. There we go. So if you notice, sometimes our repeat will end in an over one or in an under one, so be sure and pay attention to those in the pattern, and you can mark it with your finger and then look back at the directions. So let's go on to color B and row 7. Weave under one, over one twice, under one, over one, under one, over one, mark it, and weave under one, over two, under one, over two, and weave under one, over one twice, under one, of the same color, over one, under one, over one, mark that. And now we're going to weave under two, over one, under two, over the one, mark that. Weave under one, over one twice, under one, over, under, over. There we go. And color A, this should be row 8. Weave over one, under one 3 times. So over one. Oh, gotta pick, I'm sorry, let me pick this up. This is row 7, needs to move up. There we go. Okay, row 8. We're gonna weave over one, under one 3 times. So over one, under one, over one, under one, over one, under one, 3 times, and mark. And weave over two, under one, over one, under two. So let's do this. Over two, under one, over one, under two. And now we're gonna weave over one, under one 3 times. So over this one, under, over, under, over, under. Row 9, we're color B, and we're gonna go under one, over one 3 times, under one, so going underneath the opposite color, 1, 2, 3, and mark that, and then weave under one, over two, under two, over one. So let's do that. Under one, over two, under two, over one, mark it. Under one, over one 3 times. So under one, second one, and third one, ending on top. Place that. And row 10, we're going to pick up color A, and we're going to go over one, under one 3 times. That's 1, 2, 3. Again, for those who need the audio, over one, under, over one, under, over one, under. Let me mark it. And then we have weave over one, under two, over two, under one. Let's do that. Over one, under, let's see. Yeah, under two, over two, under one. Okay, mark that. And now weave over one, under one 3 times. So over that, we're gonna go underneath the B. 1, 2, and 3, ending underneath. All right, color B, you're gonna be on row 11. So we're gonna weave under one, over one 3 times. Under one, over one. So that's 1, 2, 3. Weave under two, over one, under one, over two. So under 2. Oh, I'm sorry. I ended with an over 1 and I need to have marked it. So let's make sure we don't get confused. Here we go. We're going under 2, over 1, under 1, and then over 2, marking it. And then we have we've under 1, over 1 3 times. So under that contrast A or color A, 1, 2, 3 times, and you end up with your loop on top. Okay, you can really see this pattern coming here in real life here. You can really see it stand out. Okay, now we want color A, and we are on row 12. Weave over 1, under 1 twice. Over 1, under 1, over 1, under 1. And now we want to weave over 1, under 2. Weave over 1, under 1 twice. That's 1 and 2. And now we want to weave over 2, under 1, over 2, under 1. And now we're going to weave over 1, under 1 twice. So over that one, under the opposite color, B, and finish out with it underneath there. All right, row 13, we're going to be in color B, and we're going under 1, over 1 twice. Under 1, over 1, under 1, over 1, mark it, weave under 2, 1, 2, and weave over 1, under 1 3 times. So this is 1, 2, 3 of over 1, under 1 3 times. And now we want to weave over 2, so just mark that, and then weave under 1, over 1 twice. So under 1, over 1, under 1, over 1, end up with your B on top. All right, 14, we're going to weave over 1, under 1, over 1, under 2. All right, so let's put this on, over 1, under 1, over 1, under 2. Let's get kind of tight underneath here. All right, and then we have, make sure I'm not twisted. Let's see, then we have weave over 1, under 1 4 times. So over, under, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, oops, losing it. Okay. And then we have weave over 2, under 1, over 1, under 1. So weave over these 2, and then we're going under, over, under. I'm just picking up these loops using my fingers, and now I'll start using tools. Just for a second, I want to show you, I did not push my loops up enough in the beginning, so I'm going to go ahead and give myself a little bit more room. I usually don't run out of room down at the bottom so fast, and I realized that I did not push it up. So if you need a moment to do that yourself, go ahead and do that, and I'll be back when I'm finished. I'll see you in a moment. All right, row 15, we're going to weave with color B, under 1, over 1, under 2. So under 1, over 1. Let me get my tool out. We're going to go under 2. Okay, and next we're going to go over 1, under 1, 5 times. So pull up these every other one. Here we go. Okay, I've got 1, 2, 3, and then we're going to do 2 more, make that 5. Just kind of using the opposite pegs over here to hold my loop while I'm still working with it. Okay, after the 5, we're gonna go over 2, under 1, over 1. So over 2 and then under 1, over 1. So we're just gonna pick up this second to last one and lay that down, and then that will complete row 15. All right, be sure and push those up if you need to. Grab number or color A, and we're going to work with row 16. We're going to weave over 1, under 2. So over 1, under 2. Okay. Weave over 1, under 1, 6 times. So we're going to be going under the same color that we're working on here. So that's 1. So over 1, under 1, 6 times total. So that's 1. There's 2, 3, 4. Let's see. 5 and 6, and then we're going to weave over 2 and under 1. So over these 2 and under this last one here. Okay. And then row 17 is going to be color B. We're going to weave under 2. So go under these 2 here. Okay, and then we're going to weave over 1, under 1, 7 times, and then the last 2 we're going to go over those last 2. So this one's going to be easier here. So we're just going underneath the same color that we are weaving with. So you're going under all of the color B's here. It's just an easier way to look at it. So I've got 1, 2 that I've done, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Stretch that across. Lay it down. Woohoo! And we're ready for the last row. I've got a little bit of room here. I'm gonna have to scoot my loops down a little bit to make some room. Go ahead and do that. Pause your video if you need, and I'll meet you back up for that last row. See you in a second. This last row is super easy. It's just a 1 over 1. We're going to start with color A and go under 1 over 1 all the way across. So no need to count here. And if you find that you have extra of these little tails and fuzzy pieces, you can just use your scissors to trim those. So just pick up all of the ones that are the same color that you're working with, and those will go under all of them. All right, continue going and pause your video. I will meet you at the end for finishing this off. All right, we are done with row 18 and ready to bind off. So you're just going to begin by using a crochet hook and go all the way around and then weave in that last final loop. I usually start down here. I go on this one right next to that top row and pull up my loops on the corner here and lift up and over to loop over those. Go to the next one, pull up and over, and continue all the way around until you have no more loops and loop through that final one and just weave it in on the end. So pause your video and I'll show you what this one looks like all finished, and we'll flip it over and see the reverse. See you soon. All right, so that is the square spiral. You can see this is the right side, and if I flip this over, this is the wrong side. It looks like a bunch of diamonds, nesting diamonds kind of pointing in towards each other. And if you had done this on the reverse video, then your image would look flipped from what I'm showing you here. So if you want to do either one, check out both videos. I do like how this one, because it's every other loop and every other color, the edging of this one's just really pretty. This would make a nice large coaster, of course, or you can stitch it together with all the other ones we've done in this series, which are these. So look back at the videos that I've shown previous, and you can see like you could alternate them and stitch them together. You can see that these three here are a little bit more puffy, and they're a little smaller, and then this one is slightly bigger because there's a lot more one-on-one weaving up and over. So if you have a lot of them where many of them are going over two, under two, and it just pulls in, then they are going to be a slightly smaller pot holder, and this one is going to be a little bit larger. So all right, well, I hope you've enjoyed this series so far. We'll continue on with one a month from GoodKnit Kisses, and be sure and check down below our free blog to get these patterns all written out. We'll see you soon here on GoodKnit Kisses. Happy looming and knitting and crochet. Bye, everyone. Thanks for joining us today, where we help you stitch your love and love your stitches. See you again soon.